Welcome to the Rusted Garden Homestead. We are on tour number 9. Today's video is going to be a long tour. Going to show you the 3 gardens and a little bit around the property. Putting in a fire pit area over there. Just started that about a week ago. We're going to get to the main garden in a second. We'll get to my planting station and all the transplants. But I wanted to show you the 2 other gardens. One I don't think I've shown in video yet, but I did put on Instagram. If you want to follow me there, I do pictures of different projects I'm working on, harvests, growth of different projects, and I just throw them all on Instagram. This area was all grass. We had a water problem. Water would just seep into the cellar, so my wife and I shingled tarp under here away from the house, mulched it down, but this is now going to be one of my container gardens. These are different plants I actually brought from the previous home, but we set up this space. The maple tree was already there. We're keeping that. One of the fun things is I'm finding over the last 6-8 weeks everything that actually grows here, because we moved in during the winter, and there's a lot of wonderful trees and shrubs and plants. Everything is in terracotta pots. This will dry out quickly, so it's against the fence. It gets a little bit less sun, but it gets a lot of sun, so you have to water these almost 2 times a day. You can line them if you wanted to, but these are going to be all flowers, different things, herbs, all going into that space. This was the first garden that I built. This is going to be my kitchen garden. I have strawberries, raspberries growing in here. They came in as bare roots. They're going to get established. I'll move them around probably next year. Raspberries, onions in here, and I'll put in different plants that we may want something for the kitchen. We can come right out to here real quick, grab them, use them in the kitchen. More strawberries. If you look closely, you'll see some nice sized radishes growing in there. They're Roxanne radishes. And the whole idea would be to come out here, be able to kind of pick a salad with the fruits, leafy greens, grab some herbs. 2 kinds of kale, or 1 kind of kale. There's collard greens. Peas are doing really well. Wire mesh has kept rabbits away. Very, very effective. I've seen the white moth flying around, so I'll start spraying my sprays to keep the green cabbage looper from getting on all my kales and cabbages and destroying them. You can see the lettuce is starting to bolt. I've harvested a couple heads out of there. We just shot right up into the upper 80s and 90s, so all the lettuce is starting to bolt. More radishes in there. That is a dwarf kale, Swiss chard. Let me just show you real quick down here, then we'll go over to the transplants and I'll talk to you about what's going on there. Keeping the edible landscape in mind, rather than doing bushes, these are all blueberry bushes and strawberry plants. So this is going to get mulched out. We started weeding, mulched this down, and it's just going to be the blueberry plants, strawberries, and I'm going to see what other edible plants I can put in here. But that's what I'm doing all inside of this space. Okay, let's go over to the transplants. One thing I was saying in previous videos is don't start so much that you can't take care of the plants that are growing. These are all plants that have been transplanted up yesterday from 6 cells. They were getting a little bit neglected, but they're doing extremely well. Just shot a video on taking care of tomato plants. We're going to see them in a second. But everything has been moved out of the 6 cells for seed starting to larger containers. Different tomatoes, lots of flowers. I'm going to be planting up this whole 2 acres with different flowers that I've grown. It's a great way to save money. I'll probably save hundreds of dollars, seriously. And as they go from these containers, I move them into bigger containers. I'll go up to even larger containers if I can't use them right away. But it saves a lot of money. Peppers have been split up. I think sweet peppers or hot peppers are on this side. My figs, I started these indoors from the little things you buy at Home Depot or Lowe's. They're going well. They're going to be getting into the ground. Artichokes, you can see some of the larger containers right there. They're columbines. Coreopsis, out of control. I'm going to cut that back and plant them into the space that I just showed you. That's let's see, goji berry right down there. But everything has been moved into larger cups. They've been fed, they've been watered, so they're going to be okay. Alright, let's move into the larger garden. I have several bird feeders. You can't really attract birds to your garden and then birds do damage. They're just going to come and they're going to eat what they want to eat. A lot of times they do a lot of damage to your tomatoes and fruits. They're pecking at it. They're not really trying to eat it. They're looking for water. So you can actually bring in a bird bath. I had some on the other side of the house. I'm going to bring them in there soon. Bring them in here soon. But give them water. Give them something to eat. They should leave your plants alone mostly. So let's start with the fruit area. So this weekend, all the blueberries on the left are going to be dropped into the ground just about where they are. So this will be a whole blueberry area. The kiwis, different grapevines, different fruit plants will be spread out throughout the yard. And eventually I'm going to have to probably build a cage over these to keep birds from eating everything. But this year I'm just letting everything get established. Hops vines, I have 4 of them. This one actually came back in the container. It was a little more slow to grow. But you can see they're all growing nicely. They'll be trellising throughout the entire fence. Here's the other container garden, doing extremely well. This is where I'm growing lots of flowers to bring in pollinators. These are the first tomato plants I put in. They're getting to size. I'm going to continue to prune them, manage them. Losing another jalapeno in there. There were 5 planted in there. It's sort of an experiment. And again, I have ants coming. Lots of advice, by the way. Thank you. I'm going to put your advice to task and probably take care of the ant problem I have here. But they are eating some of the roots of mostly the lettuces, but I suspect some of the other plants. Have tomatoes in there now. The red, white, and blue markers are for All America Selections. I'm working with them this year. They are a non-profit organization that's been around for 85 years. They do one thing: they find new garden plants and they bring them to market. Only the best are determined to be All America Selection winners. Everything looks pretty good. Let's start down this side. Got my leafy greens in here, my kales. They're all going to get covered with a garden fabric. I'll be spraying neem oil and BT also this year, but I also want to try just the cloth across the top. Broccoli's starting to flower, but I'm still going to cut that back and eat it. When you cut the top off, side shoots will start coming out. They're perfect for salad. You can eat these leaves. Let's go down this way. This is my container garden. These are all peppers, probably 2 peppers in each of those. You can see how well they're doing. On the other side, asparagus, potatoes in the container. I think 25 asparagus crowns came up, so they're doing well. You can see my hat in the video. I do recommend wearing a hat. I used to not do it. We get sunburn all the time. This makes a huge difference. But the container peppers are doing extremely, extremely well. And I do recommend it. Some people didn't understand why you would want to do that. Just put it in the ground. It really does allow you to conserve resources, mulch around it. The bottoms are cut out. And you're going to see how well they grow. I'm going to be doing a second video on here on how to fertilize the containers, how to plant the plants in there. Beets, Swiss chard, some surviving lettuce. These are purple peas. They got to be strung between here. They're starting to fall over. I think these were green asparagus beans. They're not doing so well, so I'm going to get them all pulled out and replanted. This will get weeded and mulched. Radishes in here. Some nice massive radishes. Look at that size. The Roxanne radish, previous All America Selections winner. If you want to follow them on YouTube, I'll be making videos there this year. I'll put a link in. Purple cabbage, all my kales. These are the seed pods of red Russian kale. So after they flower, these pods will come out. You can eat these when they're tender too. They're really good. Taste just like kale. There's all kinds of different stuff. Let's step over here. Here's my tomato hedge. They're going to get trellised up through a weave along this space. More tomatoes, All America Selections winners. So things are moving along nicely. I'm going to take you to the other side of this bed, show you something I'm working on. Here's the other view of all the transplants. A great way to save yourself a lot of money. These are the apple trees. And then this space, I did just get a tiller. I'm going to till up this area, do something here, maybe some more raised beds in the back. And this is something I'm working on. Video will be coming out probably this week. This is all, well, this is all filled with the shredded hardwood over here. So these plants in that container are just going to be grown in shredded hardwood, no soil in there. I'll show you how you set that up in the future video. Bottom of the one in the back has hardwood, topsoil, leaf grow mix in the top. But this is just an alternative way. If you want to build some raised beds, you can pick these up at different places. All the bottoms are out so that they grow right into the ground. More flowers, a combination of flowers and peppers. Flowers, potatoes growing back there. So here's the garden as the end of May. I'm really proud of what's been going on, really enjoy it. Like seeing the growth, maybe sometimes more than harvesting vegetables. That's shade cloth there, by the way. I'll show you how to use that in a future video. But everything is coming in, mostly to plan. I kind of sculpt as I go along, but I do have a plan kind of in my mind. But I look to see what the land gives you and kind of build from what I want to what I can do on the land. Hope you enjoyed the video. Please check out my website at therustedgarden.com. Thanks for watching.